Hi, sweet friends and newcomers. I'm so glad you're here. This is Yoga with Danica. I'm Danica. Today we have a slow flow yoga practice for beginners. So slow does not mean super easy, because it's not super easy to slow everything down when we're used to moving at a very rapid pace. But there are so many benefits to doing it. So I really hope that you give this a try, and I really hope that you love it and make your way onto your mat, and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin today's practice standing at the top of the mat. I'm going to just face you, but imagine I'm standing at the top of the mat. And once you're there, close your eyes, and I just want you to feel your connection to the earth, pressing down into the ground with the feet, and then rolling the shoulders back and down, sliding the ears back so they feel like they're stacked on top of the shoulders. Shoulders stacked on top of the hips, hips in line with the ankles. There's a slight bend in the knees. Try not to lock them, ever, at any time, for any reason. Take a deep breath in, and loud exhale out. Bringing the palms to touch at the heart. I just want to flow through a few moon salutations just to start to match the breath to the movement. So the main thing I want you to focus on with this is slowing everything down. So slow the movements down so they take just as long as the breath. Same with the breath. Make sure the breath is moving slowly like the body. It's trickier than it sounds. So with the hands at the heart, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out again. Noticing the quality that you're beginning with. On your next inhale, take your time, reach the arms up over the head. Long exhale out as you bring the arms out wide and begin to fold forward. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins, lift up halfway, flat back. And exhale, just like the wave is crashing, fold forward. Press down into the ground with the feet again. Inhale, bring the arms out wide. Come all the way up to standing. Palms connect at the top of the inhale. And exhale, hands back down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. All the way, excuse me. All the way up. And exhale, hands back down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands back down in front of the heart. And just pause for a moment. We're going to take one more round of this salutation, but I want you to imagine that you're moving through water. That sort of weightlessness in the way that you move however the water allows you to. I want you to feel like you're moving with the ocean. I know that sounds like hippy-dippy stuff, but try it. Ready? Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float everything down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. And just notice if there was a different quality to your breath or to your movement when you set an intention with it. While we're here, go ahead and set an intention for yourself for this practice, for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, whatever you need, phrasing it in the terms I am as if it were already the truth. Don't think about it too much, just let it come naturally. I am calm, I am motivated, whatever you need. Repeat it one more time to yourself. And on your next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float it down. Plant the palms down the mat. Step one foot back, the other foot back. Shift the hips into your downward facing dog. So, welcome to your first downward facing dog of the day, probably. Feel free to take a few movements here just to, find some space, some more flexibility. You're never stuck in a pose. Always allow yourself to move, but follow the breath. And throughout this whole practice, try to keep that breath moving really slow. You can let your movements be just as slow as the breath. There's no rush in this one. So make sure you're pressing down through that first finger knuckle and clawing the earth or the mat with your finger pads right underneath the fingernails. And then slide the shoulders down the back. Keep lifting the hips up, tailbone up, and sinking your heels towards the floor. Bring the toes to touch. Inhale the right leg straight up. And then bend the knee. And then I want you to try to stack the right hip on top of the left hip. And then rotate the shoulders so that they're squaring off towards the mat. So don't try to lean into one shoulder or the other. Be even. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, take that foot straight back. And then exhale, we're going to bring it forward very slowly. Knee all the way in towards the chest and then round the spine a lot. Give yourself some room to set that right foot down in between the hands and then drop down onto the back knee. So walk the foot forward if you need to, if you don't make it right where you want to be right away. There's no rush. Once you feel grounded, use your inhale to reach the arms up over the head. And as you exhale, bring it out like a scarecrow. So your shoulder blades are moving in towards each other and down the back. And try not to dump all of the weight into the hips. You're still very active, almost like you're scissoring the legs or scissoring the hips so they're in line with each other. And then moving with that slow breath, you're going to inhale, straighten the front leg, straighten the arms. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Reach the arms up, reach the heart up, and then exhale, fold. Bring that left hand all the way over to the very edge of the mat. Walk the right foot all the way over to the right edge of the mat. Right hand onto the knee, sink the hips down, and just press down onto the knee to rotate the heart towards the right. Maybe you lift the right arm up. Maybe you bring that right arm into a scarecrow arm. Continue to lean the upper body back. Slow, full breaths. Inhale, unwind from wherever you were. And then we'll pause here with both hands on the inside of this right foot. Let the hips sink down, and this time you really can dump all of the weight here. No need to engage the muscles. Just come into this lizard lunge. And try to unclench the jaw. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to walk the hands back as you straighten the front leg. Move it slowly. And then walk, heel toe that foot back in towards the center. Toes are flexed up towards the sky. And then you can have a slight bend or a big bend in this right knee. You're just trying to reach the heart down towards the toes, so you can feel like you're extending out from the low back. And then notice if you're clenching the jaw, hugging the shoulders towards the ears, holding the breath. Maybe try to straighten that leg a little bit more. Maybe try to reach the heart forward a little bit more. On your next inhale, move it slowly back down into that lunge. Left hand all the way over, again on the left side of the mat. Right hand onto the knee. One more time for this twist. You can stay here with the hand on the knee. You can reach the arm up and just work on rotating that rib cage towards the sky. Or if you're feeling extra fancy, you can bend this back knee and windmill. Really take up space and always try to find mobility in those joints as you reach back for that foot or ankle. You're just gently hugging it in towards you as you rotate the heart open. Deep breath here. And then exhale, unwind it. Both hands come to the ground. Shift it back, slide that foot back, come onto all fours. Spread the fingers really wide, knees right underneath the hips. Inhale, draw the heart forward and through, come into your cow pose. Exhale, rounding the spine, cat pose. Keep moving with your slow breath. Let the movements be very slow too. And notice, what does it feel like to slow down? It can bring up all sorts of things when you slow down: anger, frustration, restlessness. I know some people who kind of laugh uncontrollably. And then let's bring the knees as wide as the mat, toes touch, sink the hips all the way back into a child's pose. Walk the hands forward. Forehead is reaching for the mat. If it doesn't make it there, you can stack your fists on top of each other. Take 2 more deep breaths here. In your third inhale, will lift you all the way back up. Spread the fingers really wide. Make sure you're pressing down through that knuckle of the first finger. Curl the toes under. Lift the hips back up into your downward facing dog. This one probably feels different for you. Just notice how. Bring the toes to touch. Inhale the left leg up. Bend the knee. Stack the left hip on top of the right, square off the shoulders. 2 breaths. You can totally do this. On your next inhale, take it straight back behind you. And exhale, bring the knee forward. You're shifting everything forward. Give yourself some space to set that foot down between the hands. Drop down onto your back knee. Take a minute to situate yourself. It's normal and totally fine if you're not right where you want to be right away. Who is? Once you feel grounded, use your inhale. Make sure you use your breath to lift yourself up. Arms lift up over the head. Find that scissoring motion with the hips. Left hip is drawing back, right hip is drawing forward, so they're in the same plane. And bring the arms out like a scarecrow. Inhale, you're going to straighten the legs, straighten the arms. And exhale, sink it back down. Keep moving with your breath. Last one. Reach the arms up. And then exhale, float them down. Walk that left foot all the way over to the left side of the mat, right hand on the right side of the mat. Bring that left hand onto the left knee. Sink the hips down as you rotate the rib cage and the heart towards the left. Maybe you lift up that left arm. And when you're ready, unwind it back down. Both hands on the inside of the left foot. And then let your hips just sink. Unclench that jaw. When I catch myself, because that's one of my just habitual patterns, I clench my jaw in moments of stress or when I'm feeling challenged. I try to notice that and then really exaggerate my breath in a yoga class. So if I'm clenching my jaw, I'm holding energy in, and if I'm taking deep breaths in and out, I'm helping to move that energy around and through and out. Go ahead on your next inhale and start to shift those hips back. Walk the hands back, straighten the front leg. Heel toe that foot back towards the center. The toes are going to point up towards the sky. You're shifting that left hip back just a little bit so it feels like it lines up with the right, and then reach the heart towards the left toes. So you should hopefully be able to feel a little bit of extension out from the low back. If you don't, just try to bend your knee a little bit more and then reach it forward and see if you can feel a difference. And in time, we'll be able to feel that difference with our legs straighter and straighter and straighter. But, you know, it's a journey. It's a very interesting journey, too, if you allow yourself to really go on it with an open mind. Take 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, start to walk it back forward into that lunge. Right hand on the right side of the mat. Walk the left foot over to the edge again. And coming again back into this lunge twist. It's not super simple. Stay in this first variation, still very hard. Or you can reach the arm up, maybe bring it into that scarecrow. Or if you're feeling extra, Full range of motion with that top arm, and then reaching back for the foot. Let the hips sink down and allow the upper body to lean back. Heart opener, twist, quads, hips. This has it all. Deep breath in. And exhale, unwind it. Slide that foot back. Keep the knees together, keep the hips in the air, and just walk the hands out into a puppy pose. Bring the forehead to the mat, reaching the heart down towards the ground and back. So this is sort of like a downward facing dog, but more restorative. And then on your next inhale, lifting back up very slowly. Swivel the feet out to either side and then sit down behind the heels. Just want to come into a comfortable seat for a moment, close the eyes. So I always think of the yoga practice as a snow globe. I don't know why. I might have heard it somewhere in my life, but taking a snow globe and shaking it up and then setting it down and watching everything settle back down to the ground, but in a new pattern, in a new way. I think practicing yoga is the same. We're shaking everything up, we're shaking everything loose, and allowing it to resettle, finding a different perspective, letting things move away or closer. And when we take this time to really slow everything down, slow our breathing down, slow our thoughts down, slow our body down, we can really absorb the nutrients of this practice. Take a deep breath in and out. When you're ready, make your way all the way down onto your back. Draw the knees in towards the body. Hug them in real close. Keeping both knees stacked, you're going to drop them both down on the right side. And allow the left arm to stretch straight back behind you with the palm facing up. And then find that slow breath again. And if you find a slight restriction or constriction in the back of your throat, your breath can start to make an ocean sound, ujjayi breath. And you can keep that image of the ocean in your mind just to give your mind something to do. Take one more breath here. Inhale the knees back up to center. Hug them in. When you feel ready, drop both knees down on the left side. Stretch the arm back behind you. Find that ujjayi breath, the ocean sound. last one. Inhale the knees back up. Exhale, hug them in. Set the right foot down on the ground and cross the left ankle right above the knee, bottom of the thigh, top of the knee. So you can stay here. This is doing a lot. Or you can interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, and you're just drawing that right thigh in and gently pressing the left knee away with your left elbow. Slow, controlled breathing. Maybe draw that right knee in a little bit closer for your last breath. And then exhale, release. When you're ready, right ankle over the left knee. Hug the left leg in, pressing the right knee away with your right elbow. Finding that breath. Last deep breath in here. Maybe draw that leg in a little closer. And as you exhale, you release. Stretch one leg out and then the other. Feel free to take up space here. The arms are down by the side or out like a T. Or even up overhead if that feels good. Doesn't make your arms go to sleep. And I want you to take these last couple minutes here in Shavasana to really let go. Let go of what you got to do after, what you had to do before, any thoughts or stories that creep up, just let it go. And when they start to creep back in, because they will, lasso the attention back onto the breath. So let your whole body completely relax into Shavasana. There's nowhere to be right now. I will come back for you in a couple minutes. Shavasana. Gently begin to bring your awareness back. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe roll out the wrists and ankles. And in your own time, draw the knees in towards the body. Roll over onto either side. Use your arm as a pillow and just rest here in your fetal position. And slowly push yourself back up into a comfortable seat again. Closing the eyes. Bring the palms to touch at the heart, recalling the intention you set for yourself at the beginning of this practice. Carry that with you. Thank you for showing up and sharing your practice with me. It means so much. Namaste.